legitimate.
Not
There's
the
two
right
reasons.
answer.
And I'm
It
David
doesn't
Driven.
matter. Your boyfriend, Donald Trump.
Oh, come on.
That's just ridiculous, bro.
That said that if that Hunter Biden laptop story
Have any arguments against that right now? And I want to see how it goes.
Something that alarms me, you don't have the wisdom about certain issues. I don't think you think Trump lost the election.
Well, I think that big tech interfered. You and I have talked about this like a year ago.
What the does that matter?
I want to say
who got the most. Of course, big tech interfered. They interfered for Trump. What was that? Was all about Fox News being.
It's the largest illegal campaign contribution in human history.
Okay, but who actually got more votes?
Biden got. I mean, literally in terms of the number of votes that were counted.
And Biden won the states.
I have seen no evidence to suggest
there is
that there
none.
was.
That's why you haven't seen it. And so Biden won the Electoral College.
I want to come back.
Wait, just answer this. No, you can't come back. You can't play politician.
Well, I want to come back to it after we're done with this.
Did Biden win the amount of electoral votes that they said he won, and therefore is the legitimate president?
I think the reason he's
legitimate. Not the right answer.
No, the reason.
Bruh, let him answer the damn question, bruh. Come on, Bill. Now, I do love the fact that he's testing Vivek. I can care less that he's being rude to Vivek. Yes, I do. I can care. I do care. That'd be a lie. But I love the fact that it's like it's getting heated because Bill Maher, although he claimed to be a centrist, he claimed to be understanding of the left and the right, I think he's still far left leaning. I think he's still a Trump hater. And I think if Vivek is saying anything in support of Trump, he wants to jump on him about it. That's one thing. He wants to get those sound bites. He want to get that.
The reason the election was big tech. That's really the answer. Bill, and I'm data driven.
It doesn't matter.
Big
tech is always, yes, it does matter.
Here's what matters.
But we can't at the moment. It's happened.
I accept Biden's the duly elected president of the United States. I said it at the time and I said it now.
Everybody does bad things during campaigns, including using big tech. What matters is then who got the most votes. We have to start with somewhere that's real. That's what's real. Who won those states that puts him in the White House? And you cannot just say to me, yes, Biden won the election.
Because I said that at the time. I said it at the time and I said it
the election.
Biden had the most votes in the election.
Bill Maher getting pissed right now because he won't admit that Biden won the election fair and outright. And he's about to light that J right now, baby. I knew it was about to happen. I knew it was about to happen. He gets stressed out.
And can't say those words. It's like you're a husband who can't say.
No, Biden had, but the reason is, Bill, I mean, there's good data on this. We were systematically suppressed. The Hunter Biden bribery story, which is relevant today,
that's what
on the eve of an election where most people who are independent said, many people who are independent, enough to change the outcome of the election, said they would have changed their vote had they had access to that information. It's the greatest form of election interference in human history.
No,
that's actually the fact.
That would be Russia. If you're listening, please find Hillary's emails and then release them on WikiLeaks. That was the biggest breach. I mean, you can't really believe it.
You're talking about James Comey and his statements before the 2016 election.
I'm talking about Trump. Trump said that. I don't need James Comey. Trump said, Russia, if you're listening. You don't remember that moment?
I mean,
you don't remember that?
I don't particularly remember that moment, but I'm talking about large technology.
Okay.
I just think if we don't learn from that, Bill, we're destined to make the same mistakes again. But here's what I'll say.
I don't
That's
believe
an example
you
of what you'll call lack of wisdom.
Okay,
and we can agree to disagree on that.
You're running as like, I'm not the bullshitter guy like the other guys. And then you just told me you don't remember when Trump said, Russia,
I actually don't, but
it was a giant moment that's been replayed a zillion times.
Back when I was in business and
you're, oh, really?
Bro, Vivek, you dropped the ball on this one, man. Vivek, you dropped the ball on this one.
Technology companies in this last election.
You dropped the ball on this one. And honestly, I wish he would have responded that equals the playing field. Let's talk about equaling the playing field when it comes to this right here.
Really, you were that tuned out from politics?
I mean, what Trump was saying on a given day in 2016.
Not a given day. Really. That was replayed a zillion times because he was impeached over this.
I think the impeachment, though, I can talk about. I mean, the impeachment was on a flawed basis. I mean, that's a hard reason. We now understand. Here's the problem right now. We are still spending, and this is why I'm in this race. We have spent literally 7 years now relitigating and rehashing that series of events that, whatever they are, is not going to change.
Well, yes,
and I think that's what's wrong with this election right now as well.
Well, that's the nature of justice. When people commit crimes, if they're not punished for it, then they tend to commit the crimes again. So the fact that we're still talking about it, yes, he's got
I think these indictments are deeply politicized. I think they're a bad idea for the future of the country.
Well, let's just talk about the one that matters, the one where he tried to overthrow the United States government. You don't think?
Let's talk about the one that matters. The other three don't matter. Why? Because it doesn't work toward your narrative. If the other three didn't matter, why are they out there? Obviously, all of them are politically built up to take down a political opponent. And that's what Vivek was talking about. That's what the FBI is doing. They are being used right now as weapons by the current administration. But
you're talking about the third one from Jack Smith.
I'm talking about
the Jack Smith indictment.
Absolutely.
So I believe that I would have made very different judgments than Trump made that day. But Trump expressing his view on the outcome of the election, even knowingly telling a lie, is not unconstitutional.
Great.
It's not a legal violation.
So
Alvarez is a case which 2012
but he didn't just,
famously said politicians can have a First Amendment right to lie. And Jack Smith's indictment acknowledges that, which is the interesting part about this.
Okay, but this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about things like putting up fake electors. That's not just words. They did that. A slate of fake electors. We're talking about a guy on tape saying, this is the one that came down the other day about Georgia, a guy on tape saying, I need you to find me 11,780 more votes. Now, that alone, if I just had that, wouldn't that be a case? I need you to find me, he's saying
and they didn't do it, right?
But that, I tried to rob a bank the other day, and I didn't get the money.
What law? I mean, here's where I'm at. Not every bad judgment or every bad act is a crime.
Oh my God.
What law did that violate?
He's the president.
What law did that violate?
Probably the oath of office that he took when he would defend the United States.
That's not something I mean, George Bush violated the oath of office.
What is more,
when he sent troops to Iraq? This is why we vote people out. That's how elections work.
I know, but
so I think that's the fundamental difference in how we do things in the United States. Where
Vivek, thank you for fighting back. Finally, bro. Like I told you, he was going to start sitting upright at some point, recognizing that, I'm uncomfortable. This is not comfortable. Let me go ahead because he's coming at me. At some point, he's going to fight back and he's going to show he's a bit more intelligent than the guy sitting across from him who has the platform.
Well,
you're taking deeply held judgments that you disagree with. Great. Go to the ballot box. Vote. That's how we do things in the United States of America.
Which is exactly what he's on trial for. One of the counts is
I think it's
cheating people out of their vote.
The question is, what's best for the country at this point in time? I do not think that in the middle of an election.
Well, the first thing we can decide. I agree with you that.
And look at the timing of this indictment.
I agree with you that it may prove that we may look back on this and say, because the indictments only make Trump stronger. He's like a rapper. The more times he gets arrested, the more street cred he has. And I think, the idea that Republicans don't like him because they love that he's the stars. They love that they love to be stars, Republicans, gay stars, but still.
I think, Bill, to really understand what's.
Bruh. Really? Come on, Bill. There's so much more important things to discuss, and you're still talking about rumors. You're still talking about things that will just make you sound cool on your show. That's just ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. And the reason why I say it's ridiculous is because when you have people like myself who really want to learn something, and I'm watching these videos because I'm trying to learn something. Like, I'm listening to two people who, regardless if you guys, and I'm talking to my supporters right now, regardless if my supporters respect or not, I actually respect, because I'm looking at him from a point of view of a gentleman who is wildly successful in what he does, very respected by many people out there, willing to come onto his show and receive the ridiculous questions that he has. But yet, this dude just continued to just say dumb sugar honey iced tea, man. I don't get it, but I'm glad Vivek is fighting back.
What's going on in the country? We have, first of all, right now, on one hand, the son of a U.S. president collecting multi-million-dollar bribes from foreign countries that president is now arguably making good on in different ways.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go. See, that's the one side of oh my. Sugar honey iced tea right there, Bill. Come on, bro. He's giving you some information. Entertain it.
And on the other hand, we have
yes, I mean, that's true.
a former president of the United States that currently, by the way, it would be a lot easier for me if Trump were eliminated, by the way. And some of the recent polls this week, I'm in second. Polling averages, I'm in third. It would be a lot easier for me if Trump were out of the way. I don't want to win this election by seeing a political opponent eliminated by the federal police state.
There's a difference between him and the Biden administration because they want to win by getting Trump out the way. Vivek saying, I don't need that. I'll go toe-to-toe with him. Why can't y'all do the same thing? Go toe-to-toe with him.
I think that is a disastrous precedent
Unless
to set in this country.
Unless he committed crimes that police
Bill,
should be apprehending him for.
So let's get, if you want to get into the details on this, let's get into the details. Let's talk about the Espionage Act, which he's being charged under. That is the most un-American law in our history.
Not in this.
It's been used to lock up anti-war activists.
Okay,
hundreds
I'm not sure that is what he's being tried under.
For the second indictment, it is the Espionage Act that he's charged under for the documents case. Taking the documents.
The documents. Okay, you switched the cards there.
With so many indictments, there's 4 of them at the exact same time. What's going on? It's not about.
He don't want to talk about the documents. He want to talk about Jan 6. That's what he want to talk about.
If it was up to me,
eliminating the man.
I wish they hadn't brought the Stormy Daniels one. I wish they hadn't even brought the. I mean, he's guilty of all these things, of course. I wouldn't have brought the documents one.
He's not guilty of anything in the Stormy Daniels ones. You want to know why? You're a smart guy. Let me just explain this.
I don't care about that
Bill,
one. I never cared about that.
I know you don't care about that one, but it relates to the ones that followed because it's evidence that there's something else going on here. So you will agree with me on this one, okay? You say he's guilty of it. Well, let me just test you on this for a second, see how you feel. They said that the crime there was that he should have used campaign funds to pay hush money to the star. You know what? If he had used campaign funds to pay hush money, that actually would have been more of a crime than not doing it, right?
I did a whole thing on this.
Okay, so I missed that. I'm sorry.
I'm pre with you.
If you're with him, then why not mention it?
You're pre with me on it, so I don't need to preach to the choir on it.
Right, no, exactly.
But the point is, if there's 4 of these separate things coming right at the same time, smack dab in the middle of an election.
Because it happened. It's like they made it up.
But Bill, I just told you they made this one up. They literally made this one up.
They certainly did not make up, they certainly did not make up the idea that he tried every single possible way to steal that election. He tried it.
I was talking about the first one, though. They made that was literally made up indictment.
Well, I'm talking about the one that's important, and you know what's important. He tried it through pressuring Mike Pence, who was doing something in a very ceremonial role to pretend that he could change the vote. The fake electors. He pressured the secretaries of state and the legislatures. They talked about bringing out the military. They talked about seizing voting machines. This country has done one thing that was more amazing than any other. They've done many amazing things, but to me, the jewel in our crown, the peaceful transference of power. So many countries cannot get this right.
Yes.
We were one of the few who could get it right. And one guy, your boyfriend, Donald Trump, broke this and
don't give me the boyfriend
exactly
stuff. Come on. I'm running against him in this race, okay?
I think you're running to be his vice president.
Y'all see this, bro? Your boyfriend, Donald Trump.
Your boyfriend, Donald Trump.
Oh, come on.
Are we teenagers now? Is that what happened? Are we kids all of a sudden? We out on the playground. Is anything now? What's next? Should I be prepared for fisticuffs? What? Because come on, bro. Come on, man. This right here is. Let's continue to move forward, man. I actually like the energy. I just think it's extremely unprofessional, bro. It's extremely unprofessional. But let's move forward.
Well, I'm glad you smoked that view out. I've already said, and I'll say it again. I'm not going to work for any administration.
So you would say no to it?
Yeah, I would say no.
You would say no to the vice presidency if Donald Trump offered it to you?
I don't do well in a number 2 role. I just don't.
To start, you're 38.
I don't do well I haven't been in a number 2 role in a long time. I think there's a lot of ways to change this country.
Wow.
And each person has to look in the mirror and ask themselves, how do you have the maximal impact you can? So I do it through the private sector. I've written 3 books in the last 2 years. I've started businesses. That's what I would
only go right to the top or...
Well, to me, it's not a hierarchy. It's not about a top.
Well, it is.
It's about where am I going to have the most impact?
You will literally not be the second most powerful person in the world.
If power were my currency and probability adjusting my power calculus, yeah, of course you would take it.
He is sunning Bill Maher. He is sunning Bill Maher. And for all the people who saying that he will make a good VP, I think he is running for good VP. I think that in this point of the conversation, Vivek is actually lying. I call cap. I call cap on him saying that, I will say no. I will say no. I'm not going to, nah, I'm good. I'm good on the number 2. I will have more impact as the number 1. That's it. That's all I'm looking at. I will advise if they wanted that. But number 2, nah, I would say no. I call cap on that. I don't believe that.
But if the question is actually, how am I using my God-given talents to have a maximal positive impact on a country that has given me so much, being in that vice president role wouldn't be it.